Retired for 10 years, Ken Griffey Jr. is dropping a signature sneaker with the SB Dunk line. Does that work? Can an athlete be retired for 10 years and you still get a kick off of the sneakers, still get a push off of the hype of that athlete? That's one of the things we'll be asking today as we take a look at this upcoming release of the Nike SB Dunk Mid Griffeys. This is a Tokyo About It 23 sneaker channel. Tokyo About It 23 sneaker channel des. Mainichi Absuru no den, Mainichi Mite Kudasai. And every single day from Tokyo, Japan, I bring content about upcoming sneaker releases, sneaker news, and sneaker reviews. And today, I'm standing up. I'm going to be trying standing up. I used to stand up for my videos, then I sat down for them, and now I'm standing up again. I think it'll make things a bit more interesting, but I just don't know. But I like to try new things. I feel like things have gotten a bit quiet at the channel, so I want to try something a bit different. And you, the viewer out there, can tell me whether this makes a difference or not. I very much appreciate that in the comments down below. But what we're doing today is we're taking a look at this upcoming release of the Nike SB Dunk Mid Griffey, and it's Ken Griffey Jr. putting his name on a sneaker. And like I said, he retired 10 years ago, and the question is, can he possibly bring out a signature sneaker, and it actually still carries that hype that goes with that name? And my answer to that question is dependent on whether you know who David Beckham is. Surely most of you, if not all of you, are like, yes, of course we know who David Beckham is. He was a football player, or soccer player if you're from certain parts of the world. He was a football player, but he's more than just football. It's more than just soccer with him. David Beckham is like a global superstar. He's a brand in and of himself. And if you think of any other soccer players, maybe you can't name so many soccer players if that's not your sport. What about Tiger Woods? How many golfers from the last 10 years could you name other than Tiger Woods? He transcends the sport. He's bigger than the sport, one of the big personalities. And it's a bit like that with Ken Griffey Jr. Baseball player, but he kind of went beyond that. He was super popular, one of the most popular players on the game. If I'm not mistaken, something like 99.3% vote rate when he was voted into the Baseball Hall of Fame. So an absolute legend of the game, went beyond the game. And that's why I think he's still got enough hype behind his name to push a sneaker like this, and he will be able to get those sales, get that hype, and get that interest in this sneaker, especially because there's a little bit of a throwback to this right here. Wow, we're talking 1996, so is that 14 years ago or 24 years ago? It's 24 years ago. How old am I? 24 years ago, in 1996, this was one of his signature sneakers of the time. And this colorway is the freshwater colorway that's been brought forward and is used as a sort of base from which they were bringing out this SB Dunk Mid. Now, there are a few points on that original sneaker that are then repeated here on this update, it's not really a retro, because what you had before is a different sneaker. It's an SB Dunk, so they've taken some of the signatures. Obviously, the colorway is one of them, and you look at the colorway between the two sneakers, you can see not only is the colorway similar, but also the positioning of the blocking and the colors on there are similar as well, with that kind of aqua blue, teal maybe is what we're going for here, and then the black positioning on both sneakers. Even though they're completely different silhouettes, the positioning of the color does match. But what's interesting to me about these guys is actually this sort of detailing that comes in on the SB Dunk Mids here. And there's a couple of places that I really want to get up and have a look at now. The first thing we want to do is look at the original and its toe box here, and you can see a rather large swoosh in white on that teal toe box of the original. And then if we flip that around and have a look at these updated version, you've still got that kind of similar teal going on. You've got that swoosh there, but that swoosh has been shrunk down to a much smaller size, which is one of the signature differences between the two sneakers. And then if we go back a little bit and move along the midfoot to the midfoot section, you can see that the swoosh itself is white, and there wasn't a swoosh at all on the midfoot of the original. So there's a big change in those two swooshes there, a small swoosh on the toe box, and then that swoosh itself, which of course the SB Dunk line, I guess, needs, I think we can say needs, is on there. So there's a little bit of a change, but still some of the similarities to that original OG colorway. Then if we go up from the swoosh, my favorite part of the sneaker, my absolute number one like about the sneaker, is a huge change from the original sneakers. Now the original sneakers, again, will be behind me here, and hopefully somehow I've positioned it on the green screen so you can see the 24. No prizes for guessing that 24 means it's Ken Griffey Jr.'s number, which he wore, I think think throughout his whole career, I know the Seattle Mariners retired that number because after he'd left them, I think to go to Cincinnati, then he came back again and then worked their front office. So that's his signature number 24. And then if we look to these SB Dunk Mids, you're saying, why would they change that up to 58? What does that have to do with Ken Griffey Jr.? It's a tricky way of writing something other than 58. And I'm kind of dragging it out a little bit to see if you, the viewer at home, can work out what that 58 actually means. And maybe if you're in the know, you're already talking to me or typing in the comments below and saying, you know, I know exactly what that is there, but maybe not. And I'm going to review that for you right now because I don't think that's a 58. I think what that is an SB made up into a number font. So hopefully what you're seeing here is that 58. And then you're thinking, wow, that actually, if you think about it, is an SB, and that goes with the SB Dunk Mid that this actual sneaker is. And that's my favorite feature of these sneakers, having that little change there, having that little update to reflect the line, to reflect the silhouette, even though it's a completely different sneaker from before, but it is the same kind of colorway. So yes, for me, I totally appreciate that. I think it's very, very cool. And then if we go up, we get to what I think is probably the final feature of the sneaker for me, and that's on the tongues. On the original sneaker, they had a little bit of red detailing on the tongue. It's kind of very thin, very slender piece of font red on that tongue up there. But then we have a look at these SB Dunk highs. You can see there's not highs, they're mids. SB Dunk mids, you can see that that red branding on the tongue is much more prominent than it was before. And that's still in the same place, similar to the way that the 58 and the 24 are different, but they're in the same place and the same kind of like font sizes and things like that. Still, you've got the same place with that red branding on the tongue there, but it is slightly different. So you're kind of got that echo of the previous sneaker, the OG sneaker, but what you've also got is an update that stays true to the new silhouette, which is, like I said, the SB Dunk Mids. Now, for me, as a total sneaker, I'm a yes on it. The final feature actually on the sneaker is the laces themselves. I forgot about them, that we have to look at the laces because they're like oversized laces, and I think they very much work on the sneaker. If they had been a slightly more slender lace, it might have been a little bit too simple. I think that the bigger, larger laces give a bit of puff on the top of the sneaker, which goes with the rest of the sneaker, especially being a mid with that strap around the ankle section there. So for me, having the bigger, larger, oversized laces on there is a very big yes. And it goes with the rest of the sneaker very, very well. I like the sneaker in total. I think the whole colorway is great. I like the positioning of the little details, the branding, that small swoosh on the toe box, the SB or 58 up there on the ankle, the red detailing on the tongue, and then those white oversized laces. Very much a yes for me. I'm saying that Ken Griffey Jr. still has enough push there for him to be hyped, and what I'm guessing is that these guys are not going to be on general release. I think they're going to be a little bit harder to get your hands on. So for me, it's a big plus. It's definitely a big sneaker. Now, it's not the first baseball sneaker that we've looked at the channel in recent times. Just last week, we were looking at this right here, the Air Max 90 PlayStation 20, because that's a limited release as well. I think just 50 sneakers, play the game, get the shoe. And then here we are again today with this Ken Griffey Jr. SB Dunk Mid, which is also a baseball sneaker and related. Well, it's not a baseball sneaker, but it's a baseball star. So that baseball link up is right there. But that's about all I want to talk to you guys about today with that sneaker. Hopefully you've been able to see some of the details on there and you're looking at it and thinking, you know what, yes, that's a sneaker I want to pull the trigger on and grab for myself. Going to be quite rare, kind of cool, really nice tie-up with a great athlete, so there's a bit of a story there. So it's a big yes for me. I think this is one of the sneakers of the season that's going to be plus, and a lot of people are going to go out there and go after them. Now it's time for me to wrap this video up, but I want to do two more things before we do that. The second last thing I want to do is ask you guys, remember to hit me up with that comment down below and tell me what you think about the standing up. Personally, it feels great. I feel one of the things I want to do in the channel is to make a better personal connection out there. I feel like I'm a bit, I don't know, I'm a bit dry, or I'm a bit sort of one-dimensional. I feel like standing up gives me that option to be a little bit more, I don't know, graphic, a little bit more engaging. So let me know in the comments down below if that's works or not. Either way, please do let me know if you prefer the seated down version or if you prefer the stand-up version. And then the last thing to do is I always throw up a link to the playlist from the channel, which is the Butter Movement playlist, where the rarest sneakers in the world in hand are brought to the channel by Shoe Butter himself from the Shoe Apartment, and he drops those videos for me from time to time. And then when I put that link up here, you click on that and you'll get a menu of a bunch of other links, and you can choose which video you want to check out later on after we finish with this one. So for now, I'm going to finish this video with that link down right there, and thank you guys for checking out the content. And as I do this every single day, that means that you are guaranteed to see me tomorrow.